Annie of ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Thank you so much for joining us today for Live with Annie. As usual, we've started the stream a bit early. This helps us get everything set up and broadcasting properly to our various platforms. You can find a countdown clock on the screen showing how long it will be until we actually go live. While you wait, please connect with us and other viewers in the chat. Let us know where you are from and whether you're a new or longtime viewer. We'll see you live soon! Thanks again for joining us for Live with Annie. We are so happy to have you with us today. While you wait for the program to start, we hope you'll enjoy the content playing on screen. There's so much inspiration, so take a moment to tell us what you love in the chat. Don't forget there is a countdown clock on the screen so you know how long until we go live. It's Annie again, reminding you that we'll be going live with this week's episode shortly. There is a countdown clock on the screen showing how much time is left. You've got just enough time to grab some water or a beverage of your choice and a snack, and to connect with us in the chat. We'd love to hear what you've been working on this week. again, it's Annie, back to remind you that we'll be starting this week's live very shortly. We've got a really fun episode planned for today, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Annie of ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 12 of season 5 of Live with Annie. It's October, which means it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Today we are focusing on ByAnnie's SewPINK Initiative for 2025, our year-long campaign to spread awareness of cancer throughout the year. We'll talk about October's month-long blog hop, which has been expanded to cover all cancers, and we'll showcase all the projects we've made to spread awareness of breast cancer and other cancers throughout the year. If everything is on schedule, just as this episode is going live, we should be boarding our flight to Houston for International Quilt Market and Festival, so we have pre-recorded this episode. But the ByAnnie team is online to answer any questions you might have, so be sure to interact with them in the comments or chat. Please remember to follow us wherever you are watching and tag a friend so they can join Live with Annie too. In our last episode, we chatted with Jerry Kiev from Lumen Fabrics about their beautiful batiks and how they inspire makers. We also shared some of our latest ByAnnie projects made using Island Batik designs. If you missed that episode or want to watch it again, remember that you can find all the previous 194 episodes of Live with Annie on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or at ByAnnie.com. We've put up all the links to make them easy for you to find. So as I said, today we are focusing on our annual SewPINK Initiative. Our goals are to raise awareness, encourage people to get screenings, come together as a community, and donate to cancer research. We are excited to say that we've got 36 amazing creatives joining us for this year's SewPINK Blog Hop, so you can look forward to lots of inspiration and great stories every day throughout October. We are proud to welcome back a number of bloggers who have contributed to this initiative every single year since we started in 2019. On October 3rd, Angela of Sewfinity will be posting. Angela is the creator of the fabulous foundation paper piecing pattern for the awareness ribbon that we've used on numerous ByAnnie projects. Angela has used the ribbon on a variety of ByAnnie projects from Clam Up and Drop Zone to Glow and Go and Zip It Up. I cannot wait to see what she comes up with this year. Angela was our guest in Season 1, Episode 40, when she shared lots of great tips for using foundation paper piecing, or FPP, to make the awareness ribbon blocks, so be sure to check that out. On October 15th, Matthew of MX Domestic will be sharing his talents with us. Last year, Matthew used some FPP alphabet blocks designed by Allison Glass and Juicy Juice to embellish an amazing A Place for Everything 2.0 bag. Matthew recently released their terrific MX Weaver tool, and I cannot wait to give it a try. I'm not sure what they are planning to share this year, but secretly hoping that it will include some weaving. Our sweet friend Kate of Knot and Thread will be blogging on October 23rd. Kate is such a great supporter of ByAnnie, and we can always count on her to share a fun project made using our products with her patterns. Over the years, Kate has showcased everything from see-through vinyl pouches to baskets, backpacks, and more. It will be fun to see what she makes this year. We have also got several brand new bloggers joining us this year. Tomorrow, Jennifer and Trish of Everyday Stitches will make their debut on the ByAnnie SewPINK blog. Everyday Stitches is dedicated to bringing quality patterns for everyday life to quilt makers of all skill levels. I absolutely love their innovative and modern designs and am really excited to read their blog. On October 27th, designer, author, instructor, and quilter Angela Pingel will be sharing her thoughts. I have thoroughly enjoyed using Angela's whimsical and colorful fabrics that are inspired by literature. I always love me some fabric with words. Angela designed the best-selling Book Nerd quilt pattern and has several online classes. She is sure to have some fun ideas to share. And on October 28th, we'll hear from Laureen of Tourmaline and Time. I had the pleasure of visiting with Laureen at the H&H show in Chicago last May and really enjoyed hearing about her method for making 3D applique. I know that we are all going to be inspired by Laureen. That is just a small sampling of the fabulously creative people who will be joining our blog hop over the next month, so be sure to mark your calendar to follow along each day. And remember, you can find the full calendar for the blog hop at ByAnnie.com/SewPINK. While you are there, be sure to check out the posts from the previous blog hops as well. Just scroll down to the bottom of the SewPINK page to find them all. There is so much great inspiration there. If you find value in these amazing posts, videos, and more, we do ask that you pull out your credit card and donate. This year, we have established a team to raise money for the American Cancer Society, and we encourage you to please donate there. Our goal is to raise $10,000, and ByAnnie will match all donations made up to the $10,000 goal. Funds go to advance research for a variety of cancers so that we can save lives and improve outcomes. Think about what a pattern or tutorial is worth to you and give what you can. Even a $10 donation will go a long way. Although we emphasize breast cancer in October, our goal is to provide resources and awareness year-round. That's because prevention, detection, and self-care don't just happen in October. Depending on your risk factors for breast cancer, or really any other disease, you should be monitoring your health year-round. And of course, we are well aware that breast cancer isn't the only risk out there. Each year, millions are affected by cancer, so it's essential to arm ourselves with knowledge that can lead to prevention and better outcomes. From recognizing risk factors to adopting healthy lifestyle choices, awareness is the first step in the fight against cancer. So in 2025, we have featured different cancers each month, both in monthly blogs and during each month's Live with Annie. Together, we can empower ourselves and our communities to take charge of health and well-being in the face of these challenges. Because our language is sewing and quilting, each month we have also shared some ByAnnie projects that we made to spread awareness. For these, we decided to use solid fabrics in the color designated for that cancer. Since we didn't have a lot of solid fabrics on hand, we reached out to our friends in the fabric industry and got color cards and fabric samples from 16 different manufacturers. Because it's unlikely that you will have access to all of these awesome color charts, we have created a handy solid color reference chart for you to use. The easiest way to get to it is just go to ByAnnie.com/SewPINK. Once you get there, scroll down to the section titled Sew More Than Pink. You'll see the chart as well as a link to download it if you'd like to print it. Note that we have arranged the information in two ways. The first tab shows one large chart with fabric companies listed alphabetically across the top of the chart. Down the left side are the month and the colors that we've chosen for each month. In most cases, we've picked a light, medium, and dark for the particular color. For some of the projects we made, we needed additional colors, so those are listed as needed. To make it a bit easier to view the fabrics by month, we made another set of charts. So you'll see additional tabs across the bottom for each month. Each of these monthly charts shows the fabric colors across the top, with the fabric company down the left side. This makes it easier to find the fabrics for a particular month from each fabric company. We kicked off this year-long campaign in January by featuring cervical cancer and ovarian cancer. Risk factors for cervical and ovarian cancers include having had an HPV infection, having multiple sexual partners or early sexual activity, smoking, a weakened immune system, and long-term use of certain contraceptives. There are several ways to screen for cervical cancer. HPV tests are a good way to know if you have an infection that might lead to cancer, and the American Cancer Society recommends getting an HPV test every 5 years from the ages of 25 to 65. In addition to HPV testing, cervical cancer can also be discovered during regular Pap tests. The most important thing to remember is to get screened regularly, no matter which test you get. Unfortunately, the story isn't as good for ovarian cancer. It is one of the hardest cancers to detect, and researchers have yet to find a significant way to detect this cancer. Even those at higher risk of developing ovarian cancer, which is those with a family history of ovarian, breast, or colorectal cancer, have no completely reliable way to detect this cancer in its earliest stages. When ovarian cancer is detected early, it has a 93 to 97% 5-year relative survival rate. But that survival percentage decreases quickly if the cancer is found in later stages. While it's unclear what effect a lot of factors have on ovarian cancer, there is a strong correlation between full-term pregnancies and a lower rate of ovarian cancer. And the risk goes down with each full-term pregnancy, and breastfeeding may lower the risk even further. Different forms of birth control like oral contraceptives, tubal ligation, and a short use of IUDs are also linked to reducing the risk of ovarian cancer. If you are concerned about the possibility of developing ovarian cancer, please reach out to your doctor or healthcare professionals. The color for cervical cancer is teal and white, and the color for ovarian cancer is teal. So to help spread awareness of these cancers, we made a set of pettifour baskets using the first pattern in our ByAnnie Basics series. This series of patterns includes 4 free patterns, each with full step-by-step tutorials. They are some great projects to learn some basic ByAnnie techniques. To find them, log into your account at ByAnnie.com. Then search for ByAnnie Basics. Click on the course, not the patterns, and also be sure to click on Join the Course to access the free PDFs and tutorials. We zhuzhed up these pettifour baskets by adding some patchwork and crazy patch quilting. These little baskets are perfect for all sorts of treasures, and they would be great for holding some treats for someone facing cancer treatments or for family members and caregivers. If you want more details about any of the projects we've made for cancer awareness, be sure to check out that month's episode of Live with Annie. You'll find them all in Season 5. In February, we talked about National Cancer Prevention Month. To help you learn ways to potentially reduce your risk of cancer, we compiled a list of the 12 most studied, known, or suspected risk factors for cancer, as determined by the National Cancer Institute. These include some things that we really cannot do too much to change, like age, which is the most important risk factor, genetic predisposition, or past exposure to chemicals. But they also include some things that we can influence, such as diet, exposure to sunlight, alcohol consumption, and tobacco use. So be sure to visit the ByAnnie blog to learn more about these risk factors and ways that you can reduce the risks. To help build awareness of cancer prevention, we decided to make a project using a rainbow of colors representing many common cancers. We decided to make a simple project bag using our Peacekeeper pattern, which is our second pattern in our ByAnnie Basics series. To bring in the rainbow of colors, we expanded on that pattern by designing a foundation paper piecing pattern to use for the border. You can find the pattern for that on the Season 5 Live with Annie page at ByAnnie.com. And we piece that border in fabrics representing a variety of cancers. We chose orange for kidney cancer, red for blood cancer, purple for pancreatic cancer, light blue for prostate cancer, green for liver cancer, and more. In our February Live with Annie episode, we also had a sew-along to talk about foundation paper piecing and to make the FPP border for the bag. If you want to learn my favorite method of foundation paper piecing, be sure to check out Season 5, Episode 2. In March, we featured colorectal cancer. In the United States, this is the third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in men and the fourth leading cause in women. But when numbers for men and women are combined, it is the second most common cause of cancer deaths. Risk factors include age, though there are many new cases in younger people, family history, heavy alcohol use, having a diet low in fiber and high in red or processed meats, lifestyle factors, and other medical conditions. There are many ways to detect colorectal cancer in its earliest stages before it spreads to other parts of the body, and getting screened properly is essential to preventing it. The American Cancer Society recommends that people at average risk of colorectal cancer start regular screening at age 45. There are two main types of screenings for colorectal cancer: stool-based tests and visual exams of the colon and rectum, the dreaded colonoscopy. Those aren't a lot of fun, but as the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable tells us, the best test is a test that gets done. The color for colorectal cancer is dark blue, which is associated with strength and regality. To honor those who have that cancer, we used another pattern in the ByAnnie Basics series, Call Me, to make this classy little bag. This cancer is unique in that rather than its symbol being a ribbon, it is represented by a unique symbol that combines a star with a ribbon. We quilted the fabrics for this project using matchstick quilting and customized it by substituting a quilted fabric for the vinyl pocket on the front. And we added a blue star to the front of that pocket using raw edge applique techniques. Call Me is perfect to hold a phone, some money, or a credit card, or even a tube of chapstick. I hope you'll consider making one to support anyone facing colorectal cancer or their caregiver. In April, we discussed Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Testicular cancer is a rare but serious disease that affects the testicles, the male reproductive glands responsible for sperm and testosterone production. Though it can sound alarming, testicular cancer is highly treatable, with a survival rate exceeding 95% when detected early. The disease is most common in young men aged 15 to 35, and its incidence has been increasing, particularly in Western countries. White men are at higher risk than men of other races. While the exact cause of testicular cancer remains unclear, certain factors can increase the risk of developing this type of cancer. These include an undescended or abnormal testicle, a family history, and certain genetic conditions such as Klinefelter syndrome, in which men have an extra X chromosome. Check out our blog for more details, and remember that early diagnosis improves treatment outcomes and may reduce the need for aggressive therapies. Though it is rare, testicular cancer is a significant concern for young men, making awareness, early detection, and prompt treatment essential for successful recovery. The color for testicular cancer is orchid. So to help build awareness, we made the last project in the ByAnnie Basics series of free patterns, Easy Does It. We used a variety of fabrics in shades of orchid and customized the front by creating a pieced block. Since we were spreading awareness for testicular cancer, I wanted a more masculine design for the bag. So I chose a block design in EQ software and sized it to make 4 blocks to create the bag front. I quilted the pieced front and the lining was soft and stable, stitching in the ditch between the seams and adding some echo quilting along some of the sections. For the rest of the bag, I did just random lines of stitching, inspired by techniques that my friend Greta from Germany demonstrated when she was our guest on Live with Annie in Season 4, Episode 32. And Easy Does It can hold snacks, tech gear, toiletries, and more, so it would make a great bag for anyone undergoing cancer treatments or their caregivers. May is Melanoma and Skin Cancer Month. According to the American Cancer Society, cancer of the skin is by far the most common of all cancers in the United States. And although melanoma only accounts for about 1% of skin cancers, it causes a large majority of skin cancer deaths. The best way to protect yourself is by avoiding prolonged or intense UV radiation. To reduce your risk, avoid direct sun exposure, wear protective clothing, and use a broad-spectrum sunscreen of at least 30 SPF. Like all cancers, the sooner melanoma is detected, the higher the chance of recovery. Thankfully, there is a very simple way to check if any moles or spots you might have are suspicious. All you need to remember is A, B, C, D, E. A is for asymmetry. Check to see if both halves match. B is for border. One sign of a suspicious mole is irregular edges. C is for color. If you notice uneven colors like browns, blacks, or reds, consider giving your dermatologist a call. D is for diameter. Take note of any spots larger than 6 millimeters. You can test this with a pencil eraser. Finally, E is for evolving. Changes in size, shape, or color can indicate a melanoma. Regular skin checks and being aware of changes in moles or skin spots are key to early detection. With prompt diagnosis and treatment, melanoma can be effectively treated, improving the chances of survival. So if you notice any suspicious changes in your skin, consult a healthcare professional promptly for evaluation. The color for melanoma is black, so we made a set of meshing around bags using a variety of gray and black fabrics. We customized this medium bag by making a black awareness ribbon using the FPP pattern from Angela Bowman at Sewfinity. The 6-inch block was the perfect size to use on the bag bottom. We just added fabric to the top, sides, and bottom to make it the size needed for the bag bottom. Meshing around bags would be great to carry sunscreen, a book, and a towel to the pool or beach, and to help spread awareness of melanoma at the same time. And because the top of the bag is made with mesh, it's perfect for carrying a wet bathing suit or towel. For someone undergoing treatments, these bags could be used to carry personal items to treatment too. June is Uterine Cancer Month. Uterine cancer is the most common cancer of the female reproductive system, and as you have heard repeatedly, the sooner it is detected, the higher the chance of survival. The risk for uterine cancer goes up with age, especially after menopause. Other risk factors include a family history of uterine, colon, or ovarian cancer, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, early menstruation or late menopause, never having been pregnant, and the use of estrogen alone for hormone replacement therapy. Since there is no routine screening for uterine cancer, it is really important to be aware if you are at higher risk. Look out for symptoms like abnormal bleeding, pelvic pain or pressure, pain during intercourse, difficulty or pain during urination, and unexplained weight loss. If you experience any of those symptoms, please reach out to a healthcare provider to see if you should pursue diagnostic testing. The color for uterine cancer is peach, so we used several shades of that color to make this fun set of open-wide 2.0 bags. I quilted the fabrics for each of these bags on my Bernina using a crosshatch design. I marked each at a different angle, using 60 degrees for the small, 45 degrees for the medium, and 30 degrees for the large. I thought it was really interesting to see how different the quilting looks just by varying the angles. I also embellished the borders on each of these bags using beautiful woven ribbons from Renaissance Ribbons. Open-wide 2.0 bags again would be great for anyone undergoing treatment. They could use them to carry a book, tech gear, snacks, or even a craft project to treatments. They'd also make beautiful gifts for caregivers and others to help spread awareness. In July, we featured sarcoma and bone cancer, whose color is yellow. This one hits close to home for me because I lost my brother-in-law, Pete, to Ewing's sarcoma. I also learned that Josie, the delightful young girl who designed the Delightful Dreams fabrics for QT Fabrics, died of that very same cancer. We featured Josie's fabrics in Season 4, Episode 24, if you'd like to learn more. Sarcoma is a type of cancer that starts in the body's connective tissues, things like muscles, fat, blood vessels, and bones. While sarcomas make up less than 1% of adult cancers, they are more common in younger people, especially during growth spurts. Sarcoma can be hard to detect early. It often starts as a painless lump or swelling, or as a dull, persistent pain in a bone or joint. These symptoms can easily be mistaken for injuries, growing pains, or harmless cysts. If a lump keeps growing or the pain doesn't go away, especially if it's worse at night, it's worth getting checked by a doctor. Many sarcomas are aggressive, meaning they can grow and spread quickly. Catching them early can make a big difference in treatment outcomes. While sarcoma is most often diagnosed in children and adolescents, it can affect anyone, regardless of age, background, or lifestyle. And because these cancers are rare, they are sometimes overlooked in routine exams. Raising awareness really helps patients, families, and even doctors recognize the signs sooner. So by taking the time to learn about sarcoma, share information, or show support, you are really helping bring much-needed attention to this overlooked cause. Whether it's wearing yellow in July, making something by hand, or simply talking about it, your voice matters. Let's work together to shine a light on sarcoma and support those fighting these tough battles every day. The color for sarcoma and bone cancer is yellow. To help build awareness that month, I made an In Control using a variety of beautiful yellow fabrics. As we were discussing what to make for that month's project, I was trying to figure out how to represent bones and connective tissue. I tried looking for patchwork patterns for bones, but I wasn't having much luck. I have often said that I love the structure that binding gives a project. It's like a skeleton that gives good bones to make it stand up. So an In Control with its strong, sturdy bones seemed like the perfect choice. To represent sarcoma, which is cancer of the connective tissue, I decided to do some patchwork blocks that connected. And the kaleidoscope block, which I picked for this, seemed perfect. And I found that 2-inch finished blocks would fit the pieces perfectly. So I designed some blocks and layouts in EQ software and went to work. So for this section, I made each block using one of the colors of yellow with a white background. On the other side, I used a variety of fabrics in each block to create a secondary design. I actually think I may have had that turned around wrong. So this kind of gives you the secondary design where you get the little circle going around. I really liked how rearranging the colors gives such different effects. I also used one of SewFinity's awareness ribbons for the slip pocket on the other end. I have to say, this project took way longer than expected, which seems to be the story of my life, but I am really happy with how it turned out, and I think it is really a perfect way to honor both Pete and Josie and all of those who are affected by sarcoma and bone cancer. August is Appendix Cancer Awareness Month. Appendix cancer occurs when cells in the appendix grow uncontrollably. It is an extremely rare condition, with an estimated incidence of only 1 or 2 cases per million people per year, according to the National Organization for Rare Disorders. One of the challenges of diagnosing appendix cancer is that it often causes no symptoms in the early stages. When symptoms do occur, they can be vague and easily mistaken for more common conditions such as abdominal pain, which often resembles appendicitis, bloating or a feeling of fullness, changes in bowel habits, or unexpected weight loss. Because of the lack of clear symptoms, many cases are discovered accidentally during surgery for appendicitis or imaging for unrelated conditions. Diagnosis usually involves imaging techniques such as CT scans, along with a biopsy and histological analysis of the suspicious tissue. Once diagnosed, treatment depends on the type and stage of the cancer. Options may include surgery and chemotherapy. The color for appendix cancer is amber. We wanted to highlight a project that you can make for anyone who has had a recent abdomen surgery, our seatbelt cushion, Bosom Buddy. While we designed this pattern with breast cancer in mind, it can be a useful tool for anyone experiencing discomfort while driving. Back in April, Sarah submitted a photo of a horizontal bosom buddy that she made for her hysterectomy recovery. We thought this was such a clever idea for anyone whose abdomen is tender from a recent surgery or treatment, so we decided to make one too. I used a variety of colors in amber, and for the front, I used the 6-inch FPP awareness ribbon from Angela at SewFinity, adding strips on each side to make it wide enough. And then I just followed the pattern to put it all together. A bosom buddy in either a horizontal or a vertical position would be great for anyone undergoing treatment for medical conditions, and they make beautiful gifts for caregivers and others to help spread awareness. If you want to make a bosom buddy for yourself, a friend, or to donate, be sure to check out our free cancer awareness course. You'll find the free pattern there, along with a full step-by-step video, as well as patterns for Angela's FPP blocks and a mastectomy pillow pattern from Shannon Fabrics. September is Childhood Awareness Month. Every year, thousands of families hear the life-changing words, "Your child has cancer." Though rare, childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease among children and teens. Yet it receives far less funding and attention than adult cancers. Childhood cancer isn't just one disease. It includes many types, like leukemia, brain tumors, and sarcomas, each requiring treatments tailored to young developing bodies. Sadly, many of these treatments are decades old and can cause lifelong side effects. And survival depends heavily on where a child lives. Over 80% in high-income countries survive, compared to less than 30% in many low- and middle-income nations. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month shines a light on these realities, honors children and families, and pushes for better funding, research, and support. Awareness campaigns focus on key issues: the lack of funding for pediatric cancer research, the shortage of new treatments, and the long-term challenges that survivors face. Behind every statistic is a child with dreams, a family fighting tirelessly, and a community offering support. 2 of our viewers left very moving comments on our September blog post about childhood cancer. Sandra wrote that in 1993, her son was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma at age 7. She said, at the time, only 20% of those children survived 2 years. The only cancer center making headway in this cancer at the time was Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City. Our son was in a clinical trial with high-dose chemotherapy, radiation, and a brand new treatment, immunotherapy. Thanks to this research hospital, I'm going to cry, researchers and those who donate and help fund this research, our son is now 39 and has no deficiencies due to treatment. Thank you for bringing awareness to childhood cancer. That's awesome to hear. Linda shared that her son was diagnosed with ALL, acute lymphocytic cancer, when he was 12. She continued, his age and gender put him in the high-risk status. At the time, treatment for ALL had just been developed, and no one had completed the clinical trial. He survived with many other health risks from having had the life-saving treatments. Recently, he received a multivisceral organ transplant for which he waited 6 years that was made necessary by the same chemotherapy that saved his life. These children are all so very brave. They do what they must do, usually with little argument. At one of the most vulnerable periods of their life, they may endure cruel comments about their lack of hair or growth because some chemotherapy works by killing fast-growing cells, or their yellow skin or puffiness, which are caused by another drug. They miss out on many other activities enjoyed by most other children in the United States. Travel may be restricted or have some serious rules. Your family would like to take a vacation? Great. Just let us make an appointment for you in the nearest medical clinic so you can have your weekly blood draw and chemo treatment, thus taking away 2 days of enjoyment. Day 1 is the actual treatment, and day 2 is the day when you're as sick as a dog from the chemo. The parents and siblings are heroes also. Parents may decline promotions, my husband and I each did, or stop working temporarily. Siblings often don't receive as much attention as they would otherwise receive because the parent's time is spent keeping the other child alive. So I say again, thank you for helping let others understand how much childhood cancer affects not only the child, but the entire family for a very long time. Well, thank you so much to Linda and Sandra for sharing your stories. Our heartfelt best wishes go to you and all of your families. And remember, while progress has been made, much work remains to ensure that all children have access to safe and modern treatments. And you can help by donating, by volunteering, or simply by spreading the word. The color for childhood cancer is gold, and we want it to make something that a child who is dealing with cancer or other challenges might enjoy. So we made one of our newest patterns, which is one of our jump starter patterns called Fidget Toys. And this pattern has 2 projects in it. There's a marble maze and then a little SOA constrictor. So for the marble maze, I used a variety of gold, yellow, and white fabrics and solids as well as gingham for the patchwork front. And then to add to the tactile experience, I used a lovely gold minky from Shannon Fabrics for the back of the maze. And this just has a little marble that you move through to play with the maze. On the SOA constrictor, I decided to give myself a bit of a challenge. So I pieced 8 square in a square blocks and joined them to make the top of the snake, and then I used the gingham for the bottom. And I added a little tongue and some button eyes, and I really love how this turned out. Any child facing cancer treatment or other challenges is sure to enjoy these quiet and relaxing ways to focus, relieve stress, and/or exercise fingers. And I have no doubt that their medical team and caregivers would surely enjoy them too. I hope that you'll be inspired to make something to spread awareness of childhood cancer too, and that you'll be moved to donate funds to childhood cancer research. In addition to our team donation to the American Cancer Society, consider making donations to the National Pediatric Foundation, the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, or other reputable organizations. I know your dollars will be put to good use and will help bring hope to many. That brings us to October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in women in the U.S., except for skin cancer. About 1 in 8 women will develop invasive breast cancer in her lifetime, and incident rates in the U.S. have been slowly increasing in recent years. Factors that may increase the risk of breast cancer include a family or personal history of breast cancer or certain breast conditions, beginning your period at a younger age, beginning menopause at an older age, being female, because males can have breast cancer too, they do have breast tissue, having dense breast tissue, drinking alcohol, having your first child at an older age, having never been pregnant, increasing age, inherited DNA changes that increase cancer risk, such as the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes, menopausal hormone therapy, obesity, and radiation exposure. Here are some things you can do to lower your risk. Talk to your doctor about breast cancer screening. Practice breast self-exam. Drink alcohol in moderation, if at all. Exercise most days of the week, aiming for at least 30 minutes of exercise. Limit menopausal hormone therapy and maintain a healthy weight. And remember, early detection saves lives, so get your mammogram. The color for breast cancer is pink, so we decided to make a fun set of drop zone bags using some fun solids in 4 shades of pink. We used one very light pink for the lining of each bag, with pinks from medium to dark for the outside, the grab tabs, and the side panels. For this large bag, I made an awareness ribbon using Sewfinity's 6-inch block, adding strips to each side of the block to make it the size directed in the pattern. Because I didn't want to interfere with the horizontal and vertical fold lines on these bags, I chose to quilt the fabrics for each bag using diagonal designs. Excuse me. Since I don't do a lot of quilting, my forte is straight lines, but I wanted something a little more interesting than that, so I went to my stash of quilting stencils to find some other options. So for this small drop zone, I used this orange pill design, which I think turned out really fun. On the medium one, I used this geometric stencil, but rather than positioning it up and down, I turned it on the diagonal so that I didn't have straight or horizontal lines stitched through that. And then on the large one, I used this wavy diagonals design, which seemed to me to kind of imitate a ribbon. So for each of these, I just used a blue washout marker to mark lines using the stencils, and then I quilted along those lines using my walking foot. These little bags are so handy for carrying all kinds of supplies and more, and I love that they open to create shallow trays that give you really great visibility and easy access to the contents. A pretty pink drop zone with an awareness ribbon on the inside would really be a great gift for anyone on your gift list, so I hope you'll consider making some to help spread awareness of breast cancer too. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and December is Cancer-Related Fatigue Awareness Month, and we will be talking about each of those on our blog and on Live with Annie. We've got some really fun projects planned to help us spread awareness for those, so be sure to join us for Live with Annie in those months. And don't forget to follow along on our October blog hop for lots of great inspirations. Remember that you can find the full calendar for the hop at ByAnnie.com SewPINK. I hope that today's information was helpful to you and that you'll be inspired to get screened, help spread awareness, and donate to cancer research. Together we can bring hope. Hope for better treatments, healthier survivorship, and one day a cure. As always, please ask for our patterns and supplies at your local quilt shop. These shops are so important to our sewing and quilting communities, and it is up to all of us to keep them strong and vibrant. If they don't have these products, they can certainly get them. Fabrics from their favorite manufacturer, and ByAnnie patterns and supplies from their favorite distributor or directly from us. We are always happy to set up wholesale accounts for qualified shops, so just ask them to contact us for more information. I have just a couple of quick announcements before we close. First, I will be presenting an in-person lecture and trunk show on Saturday, November 1st at Silver Stitch Shop in Boulder City, Nevada. This fun shop is one of the 4 Creative Hub winners in our 2025 LQS contest, and part of their prize is a ByAnnie trunk show. Since they are so close to us, Glo and I are going to drive over and do the event in person. Store owner Jessica has reserved the historic Boulder Dam Theater, which is next door to the shop, for the event, so there is plenty of room. We will start at 1 p.m. Pacific time, so you'll have time to shop after the trunk show and still get home before dark if you're driving into Boulder City from nearby areas. Boulder City is in southern Nevada near the border with Arizona. It's close to Lake Mead National Recreation Area and the Hoover Dam, and is about 20 miles southwest of Las Vegas. I will be showing some of our newest products and patterns, sharing some behind-the-scenes stories about the design process, and demoing some ByAnnie techniques that you'll be excited to try. Cost is just $10 for the event, and you can register at the store's website. Just visit silverstatestitchshop.com for more information. We have also scheduled a virtual presentation for another Creative Hub winner, Cut Up and Sew, who has stores in Palm Coast and St. Augustine, Florida. Their event will be on Thursday, December 4th from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is noon to 2 Mountain Time. Owner Joshua McLean and his team are planning a live studio audience party at their Palm Coast location and an online watch party at the St. Augustine location. And they would love the world to join in online. So I will share a behind-the-scenes look at ByAnnie patterns and products, as well as some history of ByAnnie. We are also planning a Q&A, so please join us for a unique opportunity to learn, connect, and be inspired. And just visit cutupandsew.com for more information. Thank you again to everyone who joined us today. We will be back on Wednesday, November 5th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time with a super exciting episode of Live with Annie, when we will announce our new fall patterns. We have been working super hard to get new patterns ready to go, and I cannot wait to show you everything. So mark your calendars now, and until then, happy stitching!